Restart that. Hello there, Eternal. This is Skinless, the guild leader for Eternal Alliance, and today we're going to be looking at Sector 4, a feat that can be easily overcame, that looks a lot harder than it truly is. So if you're like me and you look at the feats beforehand, which everyone I'm sure does, you'll find this one, the 1x1 feat, is 40 marked units. Now, I'm sure that, as you guys know, Jedi Knight Revan is the one toon that does cause mark. So until you kind of figured out this right strategy, you're thinking to yourself like, well, crud, I might get maybe one or two off in a single battle, and to get 40 of them, that's a ton of times that you have to mark. That's absolutely insane. I thought that I was going to have to do 40 battles initially, maybe 20 to 40, and that just, the amount of energy it takes to do that, I mean, it's absolutely insane. But there's a trick to it, to actually get past that and be able to do it in between 2 and 3 maybe missions to be able to get that full mark. So what I went ahead and did was I found the right mission for me to go ahead and do this. Now there are many on here that you can do it with. Really any of them. I mean, you could do it with. You've got Phoenix. You've got Resistance. I mean, you've got tons and tons of different options. But what I found was the one that I chose was the Ewoks specifically. Just seemed to work for me as far as for making sure I got the most out of it, just for getting it done. And to that point, when we go to do that, you're going to be looking at specifically which data discs you're using. So I currently have the Vitality on here. The one that you have to have specifically is going to be Deployable Cooling Systems. So I have the blue style one where you got the 15% chance that their cooldowns are reduced by 1. An easy way to get around that as well, if you need to, is you can use, there's another disc, yep, see, there's, no, not that one, where is it? Okay, so yeah, there's an 8% chance one as well that you could use, so you could pair a couple of those together or just try one of them. I don't think you really have to have this one specifically. I've just had better luck with the 15%. I have the Tremor Decay. That's not really necessary either with Ruthless Offense. Really the only one that is going to matter in all of this is going to be that specific Deployable Cooling Systems. I'm sure that the Decay Term Meter helps a bit as well within this, but having those two on there, very easy ones to get, you can quickly get this feat. So I'll kind of show you how it's done. So we go in here. I usually go ahead and I use a Jedi Knight Revan lead, or I use a Luke Skywalker. It doesn't really matter. You can honestly take Luke out of there. The key is that you actually want to have units that have a passive ability to use as far as for your Jedi go. So you use Jedi Knight Revan with another passive unit, and that alone is going to be what calls it good. So just all these units have passive abilities, so that's why I've chosen them. Now as far as for their stats go, again, it really does not matter. So we'll go ahead and jump into battle, and I'll show you how this works. So we just kind of have to survive the initial bit, which is why I have Vitality on there, and why I felt like that was an important one. I mean, I've always felt like the Vitality mods are something to hold on to and keep close to one's heart, if you will. But it is just kind of, getting close here. Okay, so perfect. We now get a turn. I'm going to go ahead and do a big heal. That's great. We're going to go ahead and get our first mark out there. So go ahead and get a mark. Doesn't really matter that I didn't get to really kill anybody. And then this is kind of why I like having Luke. Again, you don't have to use Luke if you don't have him. So I go ahead and use Luke to go ahead and stun everybody. I'm going to do another big heal. And right now, you've just noticed that I took one turn with Jedi Revan, and I already have another mark. I can go ahead and mark again, and that's great. So I'm going to use passive ability, ability block, And you'll notice that every single time my cooldowns have reset. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm just buying time and using passive abilities that have been reset so that Jedi Revan can take his time to get to his turn and then to continue to mark. So every single time you're just getting into marking. So we're already at 3, I believe. And you have to watch the time a little bit because you can kind of draw these out for quite a while if you need to. But it just depends on what missions you do. I chose Ewoks just because they just seemed easy. You could choose a harder enemy with higher health pools, whatever. Something that's going to heal themselves that you could use to kind of draw it out further. But these guys, I just seem to be able to balance it properly, just in case anything goes wrong. As you saw, I can do this with lower stamina, which is great. So continuing to go along with it, you're just spamming your extra crud and not doing anything with anyone else, but specifically then going forward and doing your marks. So we've gotten quite a few in. Every single time the Jedi Revan goes, you get that mark, which is awesome. Just continue doing so again, and we'll go ahead and finish that up. And there, we just went ahead and I believe we got something like 10 marks in there, and that was one of the easy ones. So you can go ahead and easily get that 1x1 feat without having to do a whole lot of work, and you can do it with the low stamina with any Jedi as long as Jedi Revan's on there. Just make sure that the Jedi you choose has a passive ability of some sort. So I hope that helps you guys out as far as for getting your feats all done, and as always, I appreciate all you viewers, and Skinless is out.